shadows of biblical tradition lies a book that dares to answer questions the Bible only hints at. Questions about fallen angels, ancient giants, cosmic judgment, and a heavenly figure who predates the Messiah. This is the Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text that was once revered, quoted, and copied alongside other sacred scriptures, only to be later suppressed and forgotten by most of the religious world. Though it is absent from the Bibles of most Christian denominations and completely outside the Jewish canon, its influence remains profound and far-reaching, echoing in both the Old and New Testaments. The Book of Enoch, also called 1 Enoch, is attributed to the mysterious figure of Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. In the brief mention he receives in Genesis 5:24, Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him. The Bible sparks a deep mystery that would inspire centuries of speculation and storytelling. What did Enoch see when he was taken? Where did he go? What secrets was he shown? The Book of Enoch attempts to answer these very questions, offering a series of apocalyptic visions, angelic dialogues, and cosmic prophecies unlike anything found in the canonical Bible. Though long forgotten by the Western world, the Book of Enoch survived in the highlands of Ethiopia, preserved in the ancient Gesese language, and revered by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. In the 18th century, when Western explorers rediscovered the text, it caused a stir among biblical scholars and theologians. Even more surprising was the discovery of ancient Aramaic fragments of Enoch among the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 20th century, confirming its antiquity and its significance to early Jewish sects such as the Essenes. Why was this book forgotten? Why did early Christians quote it, while later theologians banned it? And what exactly does the Book of Enoch say about the beginning of evil, the nature of angels, the coming judgment, and the identity of a pre-existent Messiah figure called the Son of Man? These are not just theological curiosities. They are keys to understanding how early Jews and Christians thought about heaven, hell, time, justice, and the end of the world. This video aims to explore the Book of Enoch in depth, its origins, its structure, its breathtaking content, and its enduring legacy. By examining its historical context, major themes, and controversial reception, we can begin to see how this lost book sheds light on some of the Bible's deepest mysteries, and why it still captures the imagination of scholars, theologians, and seekers to this day. To understand the Book of Enoch, we must first understand its attributed author. Enoch appears early in the Bible, in the genealogies of Genesis. He is a descendant of Adam through Seth and the great-grandfather of Noah. His biblical story is brief but intriguing. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him. Genesis 5:24, NRSV. This simple line has provoked enormous curiosity throughout history. Unlike other patriarchs, Enoch doesn't die. He's simply taken by God, implying a kind of ascension or translation to the divine realm. The ambiguity and mystery surrounding his disappearance sparked ancient Jewish and early Christian imagination. If Enoch was taken by God, where did he go? What did he see? What knowledge did he bring back? The Book of Enoch claims to answer those very questions. It presents itself as a record of the revelations Enoch received after being taken into the heavens. But while the Bible gives us a 20-word mystery, the Book of Enoch gives us nearly 100 chapters of apocalyptic visions, heavenly journeys, angelic wars, and divine secrets. The Book of Enoch is a composite text, not written all at once, but developed over centuries. Scholars estimate that its earliest portions, especially the Book of the Watchers, chapters 1 and 36, were written as early as the 3rd century BCE during the Second Temple period of Jewish history. The later sections, like the Similitudes, Book of Parables, may date to the 1st century BCE or early 1st century CE. By that time, the Jewish world was under the grip of Roman occupation, and messianic expectation was rising. This period between the return from Babylonian exile, 6th century BCE, and the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, was an era of enormous religious transformation. It saw the rise of apocalyptic literature, growing concern with divine justice and the problem of evil, increasing interest in angels, demons, and heavenly visions, intense speculation about the coming of a Messiah or final deliverer. The Book of Enoch fits perfectly into this context. It was part of a growing library of Jewish apocalyptic and pseudepigraphal texts, alongside others like the Book of Jubilees, 4 Ezra. Despite being attributed to Enoch, the book was not written by him. Instead, it's a work of pseudepigraphy, a common literary device in ancient Jewish writing where a later author writes in the name of an ancient figure to lend authority to the text. The book reflects a range of theological ideas and may have had multiple authors or editors. Its language, themes, and structure suggest it was compiled and revised over time. Early fragments were written in Aramaic, the common language of Jews in Palestine during the Second Temple period. Its theological depth and literary richness suggest it came from a learned, religiously radical community, possibly linked to the Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in the desert near Qumran and produced the Dead Sea Scrolls. Fragments of Enoch found among those scrolls confirm its circulation and importance in these circles. For centuries, the Book of Enoch was known only by reputation. Early church fathers like Tertullian, Clement of Alexandria, and Origen quoted it or referred to it. The Epistle of Jude in the New Testament even quotes Enoch 1:9 directly, where Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone. Jude 1:14-15. Yet by the 4th century CE, the book vanished from most of the Christian world. Why? Likely due to its strong angelology and demonology. Messianic figure resembling Jesus in a non-Christian context. Extravagant apocalyptic imagery. Lack of alignment with emerging canonical standards. However, the text was never lost entirely. It survived in Ethiopia, where it was preserved in the Gekes language and included in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church's biblical canon, the only Christian tradition to keep it as scripture. In 1773, Scottish explorer James Bruce brought back copies of the Gekes manuscripts to Europe, sparking new interest. Later, with the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 20th century, scholars uncovered Aramaic fragments of 1 Enoch, confirming its ancient Jewish origins and its widespread circulation before the time of Jesus. The Book of Enoch occupies a unique and paradoxical place. In Judaism, it is non-canonical but historically significant. In Christianity, it was respected by early church fathers, but later excluded from the canon. In Ethiopia, it remains canonized scripture to this day. Its ideas influenced Jewish mystical traditions like Merkaba mysticism and later Kabbalah, Christian theology, especially concepts of resurrection, final judgment, and the Son of Man. Later apocalyptic writers, including John of Patmos, author of Revelation. Today, the Book of Enoch fascinates both scholars and spiritual seekers alike. Some see it as a legitimate ancient prophecy suppressed by religious authorities. Others view it as a brilliant mythological expansion on biblical ideas. The Book of Enoch didn't emerge in a vacuum. It was born in a time of spiritual hunger, political upheaval, and intense religious speculation. Though it was ultimately cast aside by mainstream Judaism and Christianity, its ancient roots, powerful imagery, and cosmic message have ensured that it was never truly lost, only hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. 10-2, the Book of Enoch is not a singular work, but rather a composite of different writings that have been brought together under a unified title. This complex text is divided into 5 major sections, each with its own focus, style, and theological concerns. Though these sections cover a wide range of topics, from the descent of the fallen angels to heavenly judgments and apocalyptic visions, the book as a whole presents a coherent vision of the cosmos, divine justice, and the ultimate fate of humanity. Below is a detailed examination of the 5 main parts of the Book of Enoch, highlighting the key themes and theological insights found within each. The first section of the Book of Enoch, known as the Book of the Watchers, is perhaps the most famous and influential part of the text. It is centered around the story of the Watchers, a group of angels sent to earth to observe and guide humanity. However, the Watchers defy God's command and fall from grace, leading to chaos and corruption on earth. The Watchers, described as sons of God, descend to earth and take human wives, creating a hybrid race of giants known as the Nephilim. Enoch 6:1-6. This event parallels the brief passage in Genesis 6:1-4, which speaks of the sons of God and daughters of men, though the Book of Enoch elaborates much more on the consequences of this union. The Watchers not only corrupt humanity by producing these violent giants, but they also share forbidden knowledge, teaching humans various forms of magic, astrology, and metallurgy. Enoch 8, 1-3. The actions of the Watchers lead to divine wrath. God is angered by their disobedience, their teaching of secret arts, and the resulting chaos. In response, God commands the archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel, to intervene. The archangels are sent to bind the Watchers and imprison them in the abyss, a dark pit, until the day of judgment. Enoch 10, 4, 6. The punishment of the Watchers is a central theme of the Book of Enoch, emphasizing divine justice and the consequences of violating divine order. The Nephilim, the offspring of the Watchers and human women, are described as giants who bring violence and corruption to earth. Their destruction, as foretold by Enoch, is part of God's plan to restore order and purity to creation. The story of the Nephilim echoes the flood narrative found in Genesis, where God wipes out most of humanity because of its wickedness. This section of the Book of Enoch had a significant impact on the development of later Jewish and Christian angelology. The idea of fallen angels and their punishment laid the foundation for later Christian teachings about Satan and the rebellious angels who became demons. The notion of angels descending to earth and interacting with humans is also found in the New Testament, for example, 2 Peter 2:4-5, Jude 1:6. The Book of Parables, sometimes referred to as the Similitudes, introduces a central figure known as the Son of Man, who plays a crucial role in the judgment of the wicked and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. This section is often considered one of the most theologically advanced parts of the Book of Enoch and contains several apocalyptic visions of divine justice. The Son of Man is a messianic figure described as a heavenly, pre-existent being who will return to earth to judge the living and the dead. Enoch 46:1-4. This figure is portrayed as sitting on the throne of glory, with authority to execute divine judgment on the wicked. The title Son of Man is notably significant in Christian tradition, where it is applied to Jesus in the Gospels. In the Book of Enoch, however, the Son of Man is a distinct figure, whose role as a divine judge predates Christian messianic thought. One of the major themes of the Book of Parables is the ultimate judgment that will befall the wicked. The Son of Man will preside over this judgment, where the righteous will be rewarded and the wicked will be punished. The judgment is portrayed as an apocalyptic event that will restore divine order and establish an eternal kingdom of peace and righteousness. Enoch 62:1-5. This section parallels the apocalyptic visions in the Book of Revelation, especially the imagery of a final judgment and the establishment of God's kingdom. The wicked, particularly the rulers and leaders who have oppressed the righteous, are shown to be facing destruction and humiliation in the coming judgment. The Son of Man will bring them to account for their sins, and they will be cast into a fiery abyss. This echoes the apocalyptic imagery found in other ancient Jewish texts, where evil rulers are punished for their role in leading people astray. The figure of the Son of Man in the Book of Parables is one of the earliest and clearest examples of a pre-Christian messianic figure who judges the living and the dead. It significantly influenced later Christian thought, particularly in the Gospel of Matthew, where Jesus frequently refers to himself as the Son of Man. The astronomical book, or Book of the Heavenly Luminaries, shifts focus from narrative and judgment to a detailed description of the celestial bodies and their movements. It presents a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos and the calendar, reflecting the belief that the universe operates according to divine law. The astronomical book provides a detailed account of the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, emphasizing the intricate order that governs the cosmos. It discusses the solar and lunar calendars, particularly the 364-day solar calendar that the author advocates as the true system for understanding time. Enoch 72:1-6. The text suggests that angels are responsible for guiding and controlling the heavenly bodies. It attributes cosmic events to divine and angelic intervention, further highlighting the Book of Enoch's angelology. The book reflects an understanding that time is sacred and governed by divine law. The notion of a precise, divinely ordered calendar underscores the importance of following God's laws in both religious observance and daily life. The celestial bodies in this view, serve as signs of divine will. The astronomical book had a lasting influence on Jewish mystical traditions, such as Merkabah and Kabbalah, that focused on the relationship between time, the cosmos, and the divine. It also reflects the importance of celestial observation in understanding God's will. The Book of Dream Visions presents a series of symbolic dreams and visions that interpret the history of Israel from a cosmic perspective. It retells historical events through symbolic animals, sheep for Israel, wolves for enemies, and so on, providing a theological explanation of the rise and fall of different empires and peoples. The history of Israel is recounted in dream visions, with various historical events symbolized by animals. For example, sheep represent the Israelites, and the wolves symbolize foreign oppressors. These visions provide an apocalyptic interpretation of the rise and fall of empires and the ultimate restoration of Israel. So, Kidum, the dreams also emphasize the final judgment and the restoration of God's people. They foreshadow the ultimate victory of the righteous and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. This section of the Book of Enoch is notable for its symbolic interpretation of history, a feature that would later influence Christian eschatology and the use of animal symbolism in the Book of Revelation. The Epistle of Enoch is a more moral and prophetic section that offers warnings and exhortations to righteous living. It addresses the faithful, urging them to remain steadfast in their belief and not to be swayed by the temptation of the wicked. The epistle emphasizes the consequences of sin and the coming judgment for those who live unrighteously. It encourages the righteous to endure and trust in God's eventual triumph over evil. The epistle ends with a message of hope, assuring the righteous that they will be rewarded in the afterlife and that God's justice will be fully realized. The Epistle of Enoch reflects a common theme in apocalyptic literature: the reward for the righteous and the punishment of the wicked. This has resonated through later Christian thought, particularly in the development of Christian eschatology. The Book of Enoch is a richly layered text with diverse themes, from angelic rebellion to divine judgment to cosmic order. Each section brings a unique perspective to the larger theological vision, addressing deep questions about evil, justice, and the destiny of the righteous. These varied themes and their profound influence on later religious thought underscore the book's continued relevance in the study of ancient Jewish and Christian traditions. The Book of Enoch is more than a narrative. It is a theological exploration of cosmic order, divine judgment, and the ultimate fate of humanity. Through its rich imagery, prophetic visions, and angelological teachings, the book addresses profound themes that transcend its ancient context and resonate deeply with modern religious thought. This section will delve into some of the central theological concepts that emerge from the Book of Enoch, highlighting their significance within the broader landscape of ancient Jewish and early Christian theology. One of the most striking aspects of the Book of Enoch is its exploration of the problem of evil. In this context, evil is not only a result of human sin, but is also linked to supernatural forces, specifically the fallen angels known as the Watchers. The Watchers, tasked with observing humanity, fall into rebellion by taking human wives and teaching forbidden knowledge. Their actions directly lead to the corruption of the earth, the rise of the Nephilim, and the spread of sin across the world. The rebellion of the Watchers is portrayed as a pivotal moment in the history of evil. By mating with human women, the angels give birth to the Nephilim, giants who are violent and corrupt the earth. This act introduces a new kind of evil that is a hybrid of the divine and human, an unnatural fusion that distorts God's creation. In response to this chaos, God sends the archangels to bind the rebellious angels and to pronounce judgment on them. The Watchers are punished, and their offspring, the Nephilim, are destroyed in a great cataclysm, the flood. This is a divine act of justice, where the evil introduced by the fallen angels is eradicated through judgment. However, it also highlights a central theme in the Book of Enoch. Divine justice is inevitable and inescapable. The Book of Enoch presents a theological answer to the problem of evil by locating its origin not merely in human actions, but in the cosmic rebellion of celestial beings. Evil is portrayed as a universal force that disrupts divine order, and its consequences must be dealt with by a just and righteous God. The book's detailed vision of punishment and restoration assures readers that no sin, whether committed by humans or angels, will go unpunished. Angels play a central role in the Book of Enoch, far beyond their occasional appearances in other biblical texts. In this work, they are not just messengers, but active agents of divine will. The narrative provides an intricate understanding of the heavenly hierarchy and the roles different angels play in maintaining the order of the universe. The Watchers, or Grigori, are the angels who descend to earth, breaking the divine boundary between heaven and earth. Their actions are presented as a rebellion against God's will, as they take human wives and teach forbidden knowledge. The punishment they receive, being bound in the abyss, demonstrates the limit of angelic authority and their accountability to divine law. The archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, serve as God's messengers and instruments of judgment. Michael is often portrayed as the leader, the protector of the righteous, and the warrior who defeats the forces of evil. Gabriel is associated with the punishment of the wicked and is often linked with apocalyptic themes. Raphael plays a healing role, particularly in the restoration of order, while Uriel acts as the intermediary between God and the fallen Watchers. One of the most striking features of the Book of Enoch is its depiction of angels as bearers of wisdom. They are credited with the transmission of secret knowledge to humanity, including the arts of astrology, metallurgy, magic, and the heavens. This knowledge, however, is viewed as forbidden and is one of the key reasons why the Watchers are punished by God. The theme of knowledge and its dangers is a recurring motif, pointing to the idea that divine wisdom, while beneficial, is dangerous when misused or when it transcends human limitations. In the Book of Enoch, angels are not simply messengers or servants of God. They are depicted as powerful beings with significant agency, capable of both benevolent and malevolent acts. Their fall from grace is a key theological element that highlights the tension between divine order and free will, even among celestial beings. The book's elaborate angelology influences later Jewish mysticism and Christian angelology, laying the groundwork for a more elaborate understanding of spiritual beings and their roles within the cosmic order. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Book of Enoch is its portrayal of the Son of Man, a mysterious figure who appears in several of the book's visions. This figure is described as a heavenly, pre-existent being who will one day return to earth to bring divine judgment upon the wicked and establish a reign of righteousness. This concept of the Son of Man is significant because it predates the Christian understanding of Jesus, though the imagery would later be applied to him. In the Book of Enoch, the Son of Man is portrayed as the ultimate judge of humanity. He presides over the final judgment, where the righteous are rewarded and the wicked are punished. Enoch 61, 8, 9. This figure is described as being pre-existent, with a divine authority that is granted to him by God. His role as a cosmic judge links him to the themes of divine justice and restoration. One of the most important theological innovations in the Book of Enoch is the idea that the Son of Man exists before his earthly appearance. This notion of a pre-existent Messiah-like figure, who is both divine and human, would later resonate in Christian teachings about Jesus, who is described in the New Testament as the pre-existent Word. John 1:1. The Son of Man in the Book of Enoch is depicted as a messianic figure, bringing hope to the righteous and destruction to the wicked. His arrival is anticipated with great expectation, and his reign is one of justice, peace, and eternal righteousness. He represents the culmination of divine will and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. The figure of the Son of Man in the Book of Enoch is one of the earliest instances of a messianic figure who will bring judgment to the earth and restore order. Though it predates Christian thought, the image of the Son of Man would be adapted in Christian theology to describe Jesus as the ultimate judge and savior of humanity. The messianic role of the Son of Man highlights the deep yearning in Second Temple Judaism for divine intervention and the establishment of God's kingdom. The Book of Enoch is fundamentally an apocalyptic work. Apocalypticism, the belief in a divinely revealed, cataclysmic end to the world, was a defining feature of many Jewish and early Christian texts. The book is filled with visions of the final judgment, the destruction of evil, and the restoration of righteousness. A recurring theme in the Book of Enoch is the Day of Judgment, when God will judge the wicked and reward the righteous. The wicked, represented by the corrupt rulers, the fallen angels, and the Nephilim, will be punished by fire and thrown into the abyss. Enoch 54, 3, 6. The righteous, on the other hand, will be vindicated and live in peace under the reign of the Son of Man. The Book of Enoch also envisions a cosmic battle between the forces of good and evil. This battle is not only fought on earth, but extends into the heavenly realms, where the rebellious angels are imprisoned. The final victory of the righteous is assured, and this victory will usher in a new age of peace and divine rule. Apocalypticism in the Book of Enoch provides a lens through which the suffering and injustice of the present world can be understood. The belief in a coming final judgment reassures the faithful that no evil will go unpunished and that ultimate justice will prevail. This apocalyptic vision would influence not only Jewish thought, but also Christian eschatology, particularly in the Book of Revelation. The Book of Enoch is a treasure trove of theological ideas, many of which would shape the religious landscape of both Judaism and Christianity. Its reflections on the problem of evil, divine justice, angelology, the pre-existence of the Messiah, and apocalyptic hope have left a profound mark on later theological traditions. Whether considered a prophetic work, a mystical text, or a radical expansion of biblical themes, the Book of Enoch remains a key text for understanding the development of Jewish and Christian thought in the Second Temple period. The Book of Enoch may have been excluded from the canonical texts of both Judaism and most Christian traditions, yet its influence on religious thought, both in the ancient world and in later theological traditions, is profound and far-reaching. From its impact on early Christian beliefs about angels, messianism, and apocalypticism, to its resonance in Jewish mysticism and even modern esoteric teachings, the Book of Enoch continues to captivate the imagination of scholars, theologians, and spiritual seekers alike. The influence of the Book of Enoch on early Christian theology is one of its most enduring legacies. Despite being excluded from the Christian biblical canon, the book's themes, particularly those related to angels, the coming judgment, and messianism, found their way into Christian doctrines and scriptural texts. Many scholars have noted striking parallels between the Book of Enoch and various New Testament teachings, especially in terms of eschatology and angelology. One of the most significant ways in which the Book of Enoch influenced Christianity is through its depiction of the Son of Man. In the Book of Enoch, the Son of Man is a heavenly, pre-existent figure who returns to earth to judge the wicked and establish a reign of justice. This idea closely mirrors the Christian understanding of Jesus Christ, who is often referred to as the Son of Man in the Gospels, and is depicted as the ultimate judge in Christian eschatology. Matthew 25, 31, 46, Revelation 19:11, 21. The Book of Enoch's Son of Man serves as a precursor to the Christian messianic figure of Christ, whose divine judgment and restoration of righteousness echo the apocalyptic visions found in Enochic literature. The Book of Enoch offers one of the most detailed and elaborate accounts of fallen angels, the Watchers, and their punishment. This narrative significantly influenced Christian angelology and demonology. The Watchers' rebellion, their punishment, and their subsequent imprisonment in the abyss are mirrored in the New Testament writings, particularly in 2 Peter 2:4-5 and Jude 1:6, where fallen angels are also described as being bound and awaiting judgment. The Christian understanding of Satan and demonic forces was also shaped in part by the portrayal of the rebellious angels in the Book of Enoch. The idea that angels could fall from grace and rebel against God gave rise to later Christian teachings on Satan's fall and the existence of demons as agents of evil. The apocalyptic themes of judgment, the coming kingdom, and the ultimate defeat of evil found in the Book of Enoch directly influence the Book of Revelation in the New Testament. Both texts share imagery of the Son of Man as a divine judge, visions of heaven and earth, and a final victory over the forces of evil. The influence of Enochic apocalypticism can be seen in the structure of Revelation, with its cosmic battles, the end of days, and the restoration of divine order. The concept of a new heaven and new earth, as described in the Book of Enoch, Enoch 45:4-5, 1 Enoch 91:16, is reflected in the vision of the new heaven and new earth in Revelation 21:1-4. The Book of Enoch thus provided theological and eschatological material that would later be incorporated into the Christian narrative of salvation history. Now, though the Book of Enoch was not included in the canonical scriptures of Judaism, Its influence on Jewish mysticism, particularly in the Merkabah, chariot mysticism, and Kabbalah, is undeniable. The book's elaborate angelology, cosmology, and apocalyptic visions laid the groundwork for mystical interpretations of the divine realm and the workings of the universe. The Book of Enoch contributed to the development of Merkabah mysticism, a mystical tradition that emerged in Jewish circles during the early centuries CE. The central focus of this mysticism is the visionary ascent to the divine throne, where one encounters the presence of God and the heavenly hosts. Enoch himself, in the Book of Enoch, is depicted as ascending to heaven and witnessing the heavenly realms. Enoch 14:8-10. This motif of ascending to the divine throne becomes a central theme in later mystical traditions, particularly Merkabah and Hekolah mysticism, which involve the soul's journey to the celestial realms. The Book of Enoch presents a detailed hierarchy of angels and spiritual beings. The archangels, such as Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, are central figures in both the Book of Enoch and in later Jewish mystical traditions. These angels are seen not only as messengers, but as powerful beings who govern the cosmos and guide the faithful. This elaborate angelology influenced later Jewish teachings about the nature of angels and their roles in the world. The Book of Enoch also influenced Jewish Kabbalistic traditions, especially regarding the themes of divine justice and the transmission of secret knowledge. The Kabbalah, with its focus on the hidden esoteric teachings about God's nature and the structure of the universe, can trace some of its origins to the Book of Enoch, which emphasizes the importance of hidden knowledge and wisdom revealed by angels. The Book of Enoch has not only shaped traditional religious thought, but has also had a lasting influence on esoteric and occult traditions. Its vivid descriptions of angels, divine judgment, and cosmic events have inspired a range of mystical, magical, and esoteric beliefs that extend well beyond the boundaries of mainstream religion. The Book of Enoch has been cited as an important source of wisdom and hidden knowledge in esoteric traditions, including Western occultism. The detailed angelology, the concept of hidden or forbidden knowledge, and the portrayal of cosmic battles between good and evil resonate strongly with occult beliefs. For instance, many Rosicrucian and Freemasonic traditions incorporate elements from the Book of Enoch into their rituals and teachings, seeing it as a repository of ancient wisdom and divine secrets. Enochic angelology, with its distinct ranks of angels and fallen angels, influenced later occult and mystical systems that work with angelic forces. The classification of angels in the Book of Enoch as having specific roles in creation and the transmission of divine wisdom laid the groundwork for later angel magic practices, where practitioners seek to communicate with or invoke angels for guidance, protection, and knowledge. In modern times, the Book of Enoch continues to intrigue those interested in mysticism and occult philosophy. Its ideas about the fallen angels, the transmission of forbidden knowledge, and the cosmic struggle between good and evil continue to inspire contemporary writers, occultists, and seekers of esoteric truths. The appeal of the Book of Enoch lies in its mysterious and otherworldly nature, which provides a framework for exploring hidden realms and the ultimate purpose of humanity in the universe. In the modern era, the Book of Enoch has found a resurgence of interest, not only within religious studies, but also in popular culture. Scholars have long recognized the importance of the Book of Enoch for understanding Second Temple Judaism and the development of early Christian thought. In recent decades, however, the book has also been embraced by a broader public, including those interested in the occult, mysticism, and alternative religious narratives. Modern scholars have recognized the Book of Enoch as an important text for understanding the religious, cultural, and theological developments in the Second Temple period. Its significance for the development of early Christian thought, particularly its influence on concepts such as the Son of Man, angels, and apocalyptic visions, has become a key area of study in biblical scholarship. The book's discovery among the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 20th century only increased its importance for scholars studying ancient Jewish apocalypticism. Beyond academia, the Book of Enoch has had a significant impact on popular culture, particularly in literature, films, and video games that explore themes of angels, the supernatural, and the end of the world. Enochic themes can be found in works of fiction such as Dan Brown's Angels, Demons, and the Supernatural TV series, where references to fallen angels, hidden knowledge, and apocalyptic judgment resonate with modern audiences. The Book of Enoch has left an indelible mark on religious, mystical, and esoteric traditions. Despite its exclusion from the canonical scriptures, its theological and symbolic themes have shaped the development of Christianity, Judaism, and Western occultism. Its ongoing influence in modern scholarship and popular culture underscores the enduring fascination with its cosmic visions, its rich angelology, and its profound reflections on divine justice and the fate of humanity. The Book of Enoch stands as one of the most fascinating and enigmatic works from the Second Temple period, offering profound insights into ancient Jewish thought, the development of Christian eschatology, and the broader theological landscape of the ancient world. Though excluded from the canon of most religious traditions, the book's apocalyptic visions, angelology, and messianic expectations have left an indelible mark on religious history, inspiring theological reflection, mystical speculation, and esoteric teachings for centuries. Throughout this video, we have explored the key themes, theological concepts, and lasting influence of the Book of Enoch, demonstrating how it serves as a bridge between ancient Jewish beliefs and the emerging theological frameworks that would shape Christianity. From its portrayal of the cosmic battle between good and evil to its depiction of the Son of Man as a divine judge, the book provides a unique lens through which to examine the religious and cultural milieu of the Second Temple period. The Book of Enoch also provides a critical context for understanding the development of later Jewish and Christian thought, particularly in relation to angelology, apocalypticism, and messianic expectations. The Book of Enoch is a remarkable product of its time, reflecting the deep religious and philosophical currents of Judaism in the centuries leading up to the birth of Christianity. The vivid imagery and complex cosmology found in the book reveal a worldview in which heavenly realms, angelic beings, and divine justice play pivotal roles in the unfolding drama of human history. In many ways, the Book of Enoch expands upon the theological themes found in earlier biblical texts, such as the Book of Daniel and the prophetic writings, while introducing new elements, including the detailed narrative of the Watchers and their rebellion against God. The book's treatment of evil and divine judgment raises fundamental questions about the nature of sin, the possibility of redemption, and the ultimate fate of humanity. It also reflects the ongoing struggle between divine order and cosmic chaos, a theme that resonates deeply with the apocalyptic expectations of the time. For modern readers, the Book of Enoch offers a compelling glimpse into the religious imagination of a people yearning for divine intervention and cosmic restoration. Though the Book of Enoch was excluded from the Jewish and Christian canons, its theological and literary influence has persisted across the centuries. In the realm of Christianity, the book's portrayal of the Son of Man, the coming judgment, and the defeat of evil provided a rich source of imagery for later Christian eschatology. In particular, the book's messianic vision of a divine judge who will restore righteousness to the earth strongly influenced early Christian understandings of Jesus Christ as the fulfillment of these apocalyptic promises. In Jewish mysticism, the Book of Enoch remains a cornerstone of Merkabah and Kabbalistic traditions. Its teachings on the hierarchy of angels, divine wisdom, and the ascent to heaven provided the foundation for mystical practices aimed at achieving direct communion with the divine. The apocalyptic visions and angelic journeys described in the book continue to inspire mystical seekers and scholars, offering a unique lens through which to explore the hidden realms of spiritual knowledge. In the world of occultism and esotericism, the Book of Enoch has remained a critical text, providing an intricate and detailed mythology of angels, divine secrets, and forbidden knowledge. Its influence on Western occult traditions, including Rosicrucianism and Freemasonry, underscores its continued appeal as a source of ancient wisdom and mystical insight. The Book of Enoch's profound themes of cosmic struggle and divine justice also find resonance in modern apocalyptic and spiritualist movements. Despite its ancient origins, the Book of Enoch continues to capture the imagination of contemporary readers, theologians, and scholars. The resurgence of interest in the text, particularly following its rediscovery among the Dead Sea Scrolls, speaks to its ongoing relevance in the study of ancient religious traditions. The book's exploration of moral and ethical dilemmas, its vision of divine justice, and its depiction of the ultimate defeat of evil offer a timeless framework for contemplating the human condition and the struggle between good and evil. Moreover, the Book of Enoch's theological contributions, particularly in its portrayal of angelology and its messianic visions, provide valuable context for understanding the development of key Christian doctrines. The theological themes of divine judgment, the return of a divine savior, and the eventual triumph of good over evil are ideas that continue to shape religious thought and inspire theological reflection in both Christianity and Judaism. In popular culture, the Book of Enoch has also made its mark, with its motifs and themes appearing in literature, movies, and video games. Its vivid depictions of angels, fallen angels, and apocalyptic battles continue to capture the imagination of modern audiences, highlighting the enduring appeal of the book's timeless themes. Whether portrayed as fictional narratives or spiritual explorations, the book's influence on modern storytelling remains profound. The Book of Enoch remains one of the most fascinating and thought-provoking works of ancient literature. Its visionary and apocalyptic themes continue to resonate with readers and scholars across the globe, offering profound insights into ancient religious thought and the enduring human quest for meaning and justice in a world filled with suffering. While it may not have made its way into the biblical canon, its theological significance and influence are undeniable. As we reflect on the enduring legacy of the Book of Enoch, it is clear that its themes of divine justice, cosmic struggle, and messianic hope continue to speak to the deepest questions of the human spirit. Whether we view it as a prophetic work, a mystical text, or a literary masterpiece, the Book of Enoch invites us to consider the larger mysteries of the cosmos, the fate of humanity, and the ultimate triumph of divine order over chaos. In conclusion, the Book of Enoch represents a crucial turning point in the development of Jewish and Christian religious thought. It bridges the gap between ancient biblical traditions and the theological developments that followed, offering rich insights into the cosmic order, the nature of evil, and the ultimate redemption of humanity. While its place within the canon may be debated, its influence on the spiritual and theological imaginations of later traditions is indisputable. The Book of Enoch continues to be a powerful reminder of the eternal human search for meaning, justice, and divine truth.